Tonight on News 5 Live, a bloody weekend leaves 2 people dead in separate shooting incidents. Waterloo threatens lawsuit if GOB doesn't divulge details of definitive agreement. A landmark colonial building in Belize City goes up in flames, and a new sports director is appointed for the National Sports Council. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Belize is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad in the month of June. Visit a Belize near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Char-Broil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June only at Belize.
Belize, Belize, oh, Belize, Belize. Belize, Belize.
Come on!
When hungry or craving, when laughter or tears, enjoy the best snacking where flavors are here. Asadas, bocadas, chiladas, doradas, Belizean for snacking, done right and done here. Anytime to snackers.
Done right, done here.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? Babe, the price me too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation. And see you cheapo.
Out.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
Every year, World Environment Day is celebrated on June 5, and the Department of the Environment, within the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management, joins the nation of Belize and other United Nations member countries in worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment, with this year's theme being to beat plastic pollution. We have seen the effects of climate change, now exacerbated by the effects of plastic pollution, primarily from single-use plastics. The Ministry, through the auspices of the Department of the Environment, has enacted the pollution from plastics regulation in 2020, noting that single-use plastics is of high environmental concern. This regulation sought to curb the environmental impacts associated with single-use plastics and to better promote green alternatives, which resulted in the development of national standards for biodegradable products.
The government of Belize, through the Department of Environment, has been controlling and enforcing these regulations to ensure that we protect Belize from the threats of plastic pollution. In so doing, nationwide market surveillance and product sampling has been conducted, resulting in enforcement actions which includes sale prohibition and confiscation of single-use plastics and styrofoam. The detrimental environmental impacts of single-use plastics are everyone's concern. The government calls upon all businesses, industries, civil societies, NGOs, and you, the citizens of Belize, to have civic pride and to help in the fight against plastic pollution and to further contribute to the national efforts in transitioning to a circular economy. Together, we can beat plastic pollution. Happy World Environment Day.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, June 19th. I am Sabrina Daly. One man is dead and 2 women are being treated for gunshot injuries following a domestic dispute on Sunday night in Kamalote village. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Wilmer Hernandez. The 2 women receiving treatment are 25-year-old Maria Guevara and 24-year-old Luzbin Ordonez. The domestic dispute occurred in front of Ordonez's farm in the village. News 5's Paul Lopez tells us more.
3 individuals were shot on Sunday night in Kamalote village during a domestic dispute.
Police visited an area behind a cemetery in Kamalote village where they found the lifeless body of Wilmer Ordonez, 25 years of age, with gunshot injuries. He was motionless, apparently dead. Information is that there was an altercation between Wilmer Ordonez and a male person identified as Jose Reyes in the area, which led to the shooting. Wilmer Ordonez was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The information we're getting is that this stemmed from a domestic dispute, and at some point this person, Jose Reyes, arrived with a shotgun and fired shots toward the deceased and the other 2 females.
Reports are that Maria Guevara and Wilmer Ordonez got into an argument. Guevara reportedly left and later returned with Reyes. One eyewitness, a friend of the deceased, says he saw when Maria Guevara returned on a motorcycle with the alleged shooter.
Esto pasó así. Estábamos sentados como las 7:30, algo así. Lo vimos que una moto vino, se fue para allá, volvió a regresar. Entonces me dice él, voy a ir a conseguir el flash. Vamos, me dice, vamos a ir a chequear. Cuando vamos llegando a la orilla de la calle, yo miro, cuando salgo a la calle, él se adelantó un poquito más de mí. Cuando miro 2 personas que están allá, entonces le digo, no vayas, venite. Él no me hizo caso, se fue. Cuando oigo que comienzan a alegar, y el cuate le pegó con la escopeta 3 veces.
Somoya says he then saw the alleged shooter hit Ordonez in the face with a shotgun before shooting him. According to Somoya, the shooter then turned his weapon on Maria and Luzbin Ordonez, Wilmer's sister.
Y el cuate le pegó con la escopeta 3 veces en la cara. Él cayó. Entonces la mujer, la ex mujer de él, pues, digamos, comenzó a agredirlo con el cuchillo y después uno de los que estaba acá, yo lo llamé y tratamos de quitarle el cuchillo. Bueno, trató de quitarle el cuchillo, pues al fin de tantos se lo quitaron. Después el cuate comenzó a disparar, pues el cuatecito se fue enfrente de él, le disparó en la cara. Después la María, la que vino con él, se quiso, donde vio que Wilmer cayó, quiso, no sé, tal vez reaccionar, y el cuate le disparó en el estómago. Entonces la hermana de Wilmer iba para allá, entonces el cuate disparó el 3er tiro y lo consiguió acá se lo puso. Entonces cuando vimos eso, quisimos ayudar, pero ya no se podía. Comenzamos a correr.
The alleged shooter remains in hiding as he is being sought by police. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A man from Orange Walk was shot dead on Saturday night in that town. The victim, 25-year-old Roberto Aragon, lived less than 100 yards away through an alley. The incident happened in the wee hours of Sunday, and no one was around when it happened. However, police are checking whether any surveillance camera in the area might have picked up the incident. Aragon, who lived with his mother through a nearby alley, did not have a police record. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
The bloodstains on Stain Street in Orange Rock Town mark the spot where 25-year-old Roberto Aragon was shot dead. He was standing fewer than 100 yards from his house when he was targeted.
On Sunday, the 18th day of June 2023, around 4:30 a.m., police responded to a shooting at Steen Alley in Orange Walktown. Upon the arrival, they found the lifeless body of Roberto Aragon, 25 years, with gunshot injuries to the body. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Information is that he was in the alley. When shots were heard, the police responded and found him motionless there.
While no one may have witnessed the incident, a resident told News 5 that a volley of gunshots woke her up. When they went outside to check, it was her neighbor who lived with his mother through the alley. When we arrived at the small wooden house today, it was locked. Neighbors say they haven't seen the mother since her son's murder. ACP Gilberto Romero, the regional commander for Eastern Division, said that police are scouting the area for whatever evidence they can gather.
Investigators are combing the area, and if they find video footage, then that will be obtained. They are on the ground at this time working on the case. We do not know what transpired, what led to this shooting.
Romero said Aragon was not known to the police. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
An inspector of police has been criminally charged for wounding a man who was detained at police station outside of his jurisdiction. Inspector Christopher Martinez, the head of Special Patrol Unit in Belize City, was charged after 29-year-old Aaron Flowers alleged that Martinez beat him in the head with a pair of handcuffs. Flowers, who Martinez also accuses of assault, has also been charged with common assault. Flowers was the first to be arraigned this morning. The allegation is that on Thursday, while he was detained at the Ladyville police station, he assaulted Martinez. Flowers pleaded not guilty and met bail of $300. Late this evening, Martinez was arraigned. The 45-year-old inspector pleaded not guilty and met bail of $1,500 plus one surety of the same amount. He is due back in court on August 9th. Reports are that Flowers, a resident of Lord's Bank, was treated at the KHMH for injuries he sustained, allegedly whilst in custody at the Ladyville police station. Martinez, on the other hand, has made allegations that Flowers had fired shots at his house. The Flowers family has since sought legal assistance from a lawyer. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams appeared on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes morning show and condemned the incident.
With what happened over the weekend, I must say that I condemn it to the strongest term, because once a person is in custody of the police, no police officer have any right to go into a cell block or even into a police station and cause harm to a person who is detained by the police. What is the need for it? And the extent to which the person was injured makes it even worse. Because I saw the photographs on social media with the man's head. Yeah. And it is distasteful. I have since directed that we conduct a criminal and an internal investigation in that matter. I can tell you that the police officer was charged yesterday for wounding, and he'll be appearing before the court either today or tomorrow. But those kind of behaviors we're not going to countenance. We cannot live in a society where police believe that they have so much powers that they can just do what they want with the ordinary people. It is not going to fly with us.
A businessman was shot during a robbery in Siltgrass Village, Stan Creek on Saturday, and his common-law wife was robbed of cash. Andriel Chan reported to police that he thought the four men who showed up in a car wanted to buy fuel, but then he saw a gun and decided to run. The man with the gun fired and struck Chan. Here's Assistant Commissioner Gilberto Romero with the details.
On Saturday, 17th day of June 2023, around 9:05 p.m., Andriel Chan visited the Siltgrass police station where he reported that he was at home when four male persons arrived in a car and ordered $30 of gas. He mentioned that he went to get the gas, but then noticed that one of them was armed with a firearm. He then ran off to avoid anything happening to him, at which point one of the persons chased him and fired shots at him, which caught him on his hand. Thereafter, the other three male persons remained in the area where they entered the house, where they robbed the common law of the complainant. She was robbed of some cash and jewelry, after which the four male persons made good their escape in the car.
A domestic dispute in San Ignacio led to the chopping of a man. Police say the incident happened on Panama Street, and when officers responded to the scene, they found George Lopez with multiple chop wounds. Information, according to police, is that Lopez went to his mother's house and got into a dispute with a relative. ACP Alberto Romero gave the details this evening.
Police visited Panama Street where they found George Lopez with chop wounds to the body. Information is that he went to a house belonging to his mother when he had an altercation with his brother-in-law who inflicted the chop wounds on him. We have one person in custody, Luis Mendes, who will be arrested and charged for dangerous harm and use of deadly means of harm.
Coming up, Senate debates civil asset recovery and unexplained wealth bill. Find out the details of these stories when we come back.
Minister Francis Fonseca. At the House meeting on Friday, you told the nation of Belize that because the definitive agreement was a potential legal liability, it had to be brought to Cabinet for discussion and review. Minister Fonseca, you know that is a lie. The Cabinet memorandum did not have a single word about any potential legal liability if the Cabinet did not approve it. Not a single word about any legal opinion. Minister Fonseca, you know that the purpose of the Cabinet memorandum presented by Minister Chris Coy on behalf of the Prime Minister John Briceño was to inform the Cabinet of Portico's progress and to seek Cabinet's approval for the dirty fiscal incentives. Instead of explaining to Cabinet that the dirty tax giveaways represented a gang rape of Belize's taxpayers by Geg and Royal Caribbean, the paper sang Portico's praises. Minister Fonseca, why did you stand up in Parliament and lie to us about the true purpose of bringing the definitive agreement to Cabinet? Lies. Damn lies.
BWS new online portal makes accessing our services much easier from the comfort of the office or home. Just visit the BWS website and click on our online services tab, followed by Customer Portal. You'll first need to register. Just enter your account number and follow the easy guide. When completed, just log in. From the portal, you can now view your account history, see past bills, payments made, and right from the portal, you can download and save your bill. You can also view your water consumption over the past year and update your account information all from the portal. Register and use the BWS portal.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
HRCU is thrilled to announce the launch of our new online banking services designed to put you in control of your financial future. To take advantage of our new services, you will need to know your updated 16-digit account number. You'll enjoy 24/7 access to your accounts, send and receive payments to other credit unions and banks effortlessly, pay your bills online with ease. Need to make a loan payment? Done from the comfort of your own home. Have your government benefits deposited directly into your account, hassle-free. Applying for a loan? Easy. Apply online with just a few clicks. And don't worry, we'll be here to guide you through the transition every step of the way. Visit hrcubelize.org for more details on our exciting new online banking services. HRCU, making a difference in people's lives.
Mr. Chris Coy, on Tuesday, May the 16th, you presented a paper to Cabinet in which you said that permitting had been granted to Portico for its Port of Magical Belize project. That was a lie. Belize Port Authority exposed that lie in its press release dated the 6th of June 2023 and stated that it has never granted any permit to Portico for the construction and operation of a port. The Port Authority said it was never even consulted on what you took to Cabinet, and neither was its minister. Minister Coy, you are unelected. Why did you try to mislead your elected colleagues in Cabinet and bring so much heat onto the government? Why, Minister Coy? Why?
It seems like every other day, we hear of a family member or friend being diagnosed with a serious illness such as cancer, heart attack, kidney failure, or stroke. When these illnesses strike, you want to focus on recovery and your overall well-being. At Rfg Life Insurance, we offer critical illness insurance to help with medical expenses when diagnosed with such critical illnesses, providing security to access quality healthcare facilities and to ease the worry about finances. In case you are diagnosed with a life-threatening illness that is covered by the policy, critical illness insurance pays you a lump sum amount to help you obtain access to quality treatment and medication. Having critical illness insurance provides the financial support that will bring you and your family the security and peace of mind necessary to manage these illnesses. The possibility of being diagnosed can be worrying, but by having a critical illness plan, you could have funds to assist with expenses such as medications, hospital deductibles, childcare, household expenses, and so much more. The right time to plan for the unexpected is when you're healthy. For more information, visit our office today to speak with one of our experienced agents about critical illness insurance. Your health and wellness is what matters most. Take care of it.
Bye. Why long time did I call you?
Meet Alex.
Where they go on, man?
Alex signed up for a Digi One Premium Bundle. He's loving it. With his free mobile plan, Alex can talk and surf on the go as much as he wants. Topping up and buying data is a thing of the past. Alex now has Digi TV. He enjoys all his games and his favorite shows, no matter if he's on the go or at home. And Alex also enjoys the fastest, most reliable home internet speeds with his DigiNet service. He is living his best life. Alex bundled. Alex is saving $70 monthly compared to purchasing these services from the other providers. Be like Alex. Sign up for your Digi One Bundle package today. Digi One. One bundle, no hassle, exceptional value.
It was a great show in the House on Friday, and from a political perspective, I guess from a symbolism perspective, it's good. But the problem is, the definitive agreement should have been torn up on November 11th, or whenever they found it, because it's one of the documents that lurk underneath, and I'm sure the Prime Minister wishes he did. The fact is that even if you tear up the definitive agreement, you cannot tear up the environmental compliance plan that your government approved. And that environmental compliance plan is a problem. You cannot tear up, thank God we have it, the Cabinet Confidential Memorandum. This is the importance of transparency, right? I know I talk about it a lot, but the leakage of this Cabinet Confidential Memorandum is so important, and it underscores so much. And if we didn't have it, many lies that are now being passed as truth would have slipped by.
The controversial definitive agreement between the government of Belize and Portico Enterprises was trashed by Prime Minister John Briceño in the House of Representatives on Friday. On that same day, Senior Counsel Godfrey Smith wrote to PM Briceño, essentially putting him on notice that legal action will be taken if the government does not provide the details of that famous definitive agreement. In Smith's letter, he mentions that his client has made several attempts to get a copy of the signed agreement between the government and Portico Enterprises Limited under the Freedom of Information Act. Smith writes, quote, Prime Minister, I am obliged to point out that this adamant refusal by your government's relevant officials to respond to our client's request for information under the Act highlights the unfair treatment our client is being subjected to by the government of Belize and will be relied upon as a ground in support of our client's subsidiary company's claim under the UK BIT Treaty of 1982. We draw your attention to Section 21 of the Act, which provides that it is an offense against discipline for a public officer to ignore a request under the Act without cause, and therefore renew our request that the appropriate disciplinary measures be taken against those officers who have failed to address our clients' requests." End quote. Smith's letter goes on to warn the PM that if he doesn't ensure that the relevant officials respond to their requests made under the Act, or to cause disciplinary action to be brought against the public officer who refuses, that he, Smith, is instructed to seek an order of mandamus from the Supreme Court, compelling the Prime Minister to cause that public officer to be disciplined under the Act. The letter, Smith further states, is to be considered a pre-action, warning that legal action will be taken against him if he does nothing about it. Attached to the letter is an agenda with all the previous times when they have asked for the information, dating back to December of last year. In an effort to meet compliance with a host of recommendations from the Caribbean Financial Task Force, a suite of financial legislations was brought back to the Senate for second reading. Among them were the Civil Asset Recovery and Unexplained Wealth Bill, that also falls in compliance with the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. UDP Senator Michael Parafit called for a division of the Senate. 9 members voted in support of the bill, while all 3 opposition senators voted against it. Here is how that debate played out.
There is something in the bill that I don't understand why the government is doing that. And we are quarreling now. The government, Madam President, says, or they're putting in this bill, in the miscellaneous section of the bill, that you can only recover what they call dirty property, for lack of a better way to put it, or you can only go after people for unexplained wealth within the last 12 years. Why stop there? Why only the last 12 years? Or you can apply to the court for the court to extend the time back to 20 years. So you only go back to 2011? No. What I'm saying is that if you really want to be transparent and you want to cover everybody, have no limitation. Let's go all the way back. Because there are people from some governments, who still live off of their money,
And I'm very much supportive of what this bill is trying to achieve with respect to trying to recover government assets that left our government coffers unlawfully, and so we don't have any issue with that concept. But going over the bill, Madam President, I struggled with certain things. I really struggled with the concept of whether or not we were dealing with a criminal matter or a civil matter.
The concern is whether we have made provisions for additional personnel support for the FIU, simply for the fact that they also have other functions that fall under them, the money laundering and the other act that falls under them, their own FIU act. So we don't want that. We have something in place, but it can't be enforced because we don't have sufficient personnel to be able to carry out the functions of what this act requires.
I will tell you in no uncertain terms, when this draft came up, when this idea came up, the number of people that came up and said this is going to be a great thing because I know so and so, he that only saw so and he got X, Y, and Z. I work my whole life. That has been the response, and I'm sharing in honest repetition because I think we know it to be true that there are things that have been happening from independence, if not before.
Opposition leader Shine Barrow also weighed in on the bill. We heard from Barrow outside the National Assembly on Friday. One of his main objections to the bill has to do with the time limit placed on retroactivity of the proposed legislation.
I just wanted to make clear that some of the issues we have is that they proposed a 12-year retroactive language in there. Regionally, it is 20 years. Developed nations, globally, there is no limit to retroactivity, to going back. So if we are serious about fixing the problem and holding everyone accountable, then the years to go back should be at least 20 years with an additional 5 years, as the language stipulates, for the pertinent, the FIU to be able to look that far back so that we can hold both governments accountable.
We've been reporting about the presence of narco traffickers in southern Belize and how the security forces are working to mitigate those activities. But the presence of narco traffickers is also a huge issue in northern Belize. The situation in the north has become so bad that the government of Belize is allocating approximately $1 million to ramp up police and BDF operations in Orange Walk and Corozal districts. We will show you some remarks that came out of Friday's House meeting on this matter. But first, the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, was asked about the war on drugs in the north during his appearance on Open Your Eyes this morning. Here is what he told us.
If we look at the whole scheme of things, and the operations is not a small one, it's a huge one, because it stems from Orange Walk to Corozal. We have that entire river area that starts from Santa Cruz in the Orange Walk district, goes through Douglas and Victor, Savannah. All of those areas are areas of concern as it relates to the operations of the cartels. And then we have Libertad and we have Corozal Tongue. Again, where we're seeing that the effects of the narco trade is affecting those areas. So we have to concentrate our operations in those areas with a view to prevent any further activity or escalations. And I think that so far we have been doing well. Now, have we done all we want to see get done? No. The truth is that there are still other components of that operation that will go into place this week. We're awaiting some resources that we're getting through the government to be able to maintain a stronger presence on the grounds. And again, I want to assure the people of both Orange Walk and Corozal district, particularly those along the Rio Hondo River, that the police and the BDF are going to do what we can to make sure that we stem the operations of the cartels in Belize, and likewise we'll work with our Mexican counterparts to see how they can work from their side in dealing with the cartels on the Mexican side so they don't cross over into Belize.
As we said, the government of Belize is allocating an additional $1 million to the Belize Police Department to assist with its fight against narco trafficking in northern Belize. The Briceño administration sought approval from the House of Representatives on Friday to allocate the funds as part of its $69 million supplementary allocation bill. Here is how that debate went.
Turning to a matter of serious concern, that of citizen security, the reports of a Mexican cartel exacting violence upon our citizens in northern part of Belize is no secret. This requires urgent and meaningful response. As requested by the police department, we are proposing to immediately allocate $1 million towards this heavy and serious threat to our national security.
The narco war in Corozal, I can understand having to reinforce our troops and our security forces, Madam Speaker. You have a great presentation that you made in regards to the necessity to reinforce the security forces with $1 million. but it really isn't $1 million. And again, never are you able to be transparent and straightforward with the Belizean people. You're always deflecting and dancing around, because we have operation costs here for another $788,000 for national defense and border security, in addition to that $1 million that you have described.
After the break, media personality William Neal loses belongings in house fire. We'll tell you more on that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Minister Anthony Mahler, what are you really up to? You condemned the definitive agreement as scandalous and not in Belize's best interest. Yet, you allowed yourself to be named as one of the ministers to renegotiate an agreement the whole world knows to be unlawful, unlawfully signed and not binding. Why, Minister Mahler? Any such renegotiation would be on behalf of Mr. Gig and Mr. Sharma, who, as the whole world knows, have no ability to deliver such a project. Why, Minister Mahler? On your return to Belize, you scuttled away from the media to avoid any questions. Why, Minister Mahler? When you wanted our votes, you said you were a change agent. You have changed, and you've become just like those old PUPs. Why, Minister Mahler? A cruise ship port constructed near Gales Point would negatively impact the endangered manatee population and bring no benefit at all to the people of the South Side. Why, Minister Mahler? Why are you being a sellout to the voters of South Side Belize City?
What's up, guys? Saw Daddy here, back with some Father's Day awesomeness. So for all you wanna-be Saw Daddies, or you just wanna get a gift for Dad, Brothers A Bet has some mind-blowing deals on power tools, hand tools, and more. Spoil those super handy dads with top-notch brands like Skill, Black & Decker, Stanley, DeWalt, Bosch, at a ridiculous 15% off all month long. Plus, with every gallon of Berger paint you buy, get your dad a chance to win $100 every week. And some lucky super handy dad will win $1,000. A big thank you to Brothers A Bet for sponsoring this video. Guys, go out there and get those tools because they're flying off the shelves. Happy Father's Day to all my super dads out there. Like, subscribe. Saw Daddy out.
Generation to generation, Bristol Water is there every step of the way. Taste you can trust.
Your unwavering trust in Rfg Insurance is the reason we are one of the leading insurance companies in Belize. The conversations and connections we share are part of why our network of dedicated professionals works tirelessly for you. Rfg Insurance is inviting you to visit us or an agent near you on July 7, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for our Customer Appreciation Day. Get ready for a day filled with exciting prizes and delightful surprises. Remember, it pays to get it right with Rfg Insurance, a Roe Group company.
My parents always said, when it's time to build, invest in quality products that last a lifetime, even if it means paying a little more. It is now my turn to invest in my own home, and it's not even a question. It has to be Oran Windows. My contractor recommends Oran because of the heavy-duty construction, the thickest gauge blades on the market, and the dual locks that allow lower louvers to close independently for privacy while the top remains open for airflow. These features make Oran aluminum louver windows the best on the market.
With Oran aluminum louver windows, you get strength, durability, and beauty with an added layer of security and protection against debris and damaging winds. Come in and check out the variety of sizes and colors at Design Depot, located at Mile 3 Philip Goldson Highway in Belize City.
Did you know that there's a way to protect yourself from getting the hepatitis B virus?
If left untreated, hepatitis B can cause chronic liver infection and put people at a high risk of death.
Fortunately, a safe and effective vaccine for hepatitis B is available for everyone.
Hepatitis B is not only life-threatening, but highly infectious.
It is spread through contact with blood and other bodily fluids from an infected person.
Common modes of infection include mother-to-child transmission during birth, having sex without a condom, using unsterilized tattoo or piercing equipment, or even sharing razors, washcloths, or toothbrushes.
Remember, a tiny amount of blood, too small to see, is enough to infect you with hepatitis B.
There is no cure for hepatitis B, and symptoms often do not present themselves early, so many people might not know they are infected. The only way to know is to get tested.
So talk to your healthcare provider about getting tested and vaccinated to protect yourself and others from hepatitis B.
Everyone is potentially at risk of being infected, so don't wait to vaccinate.
Visit any healthcare facility countrywide to speak with a healthcare provider about getting tested and vaccinated for hepatitis B.
Mr. Chris Coy, on Tuesday, May the 16th, you presented a paper to Cabinet in which you said that permitting had been granted to Portico for its Port of Magical Belize project. That was a lie. Belize Port Authority exposed that lie in its press release dated the 6th of June 2023 and stated that it has never granted any permit to Portico for the construction and operation of a port. The Port Authority said it was never even consulted on what you took to Cabinet, and neither was its minister. Minister Koye, you are unelected. Why did you try to mislead your elected colleagues in Cabinet and bring so much heat onto the government? Why, Minister Koy? Why?
In the wee small hours of Saturday, a fire erupted inside one of the oldest structures on Regent Street in Belize City. Once the home of the UC family, the building at the corner of South and Regent Streets was an old shingled structure set to be demolished. The fire spread quickly, consuming the building. And was it not for the work of the National Fire Service, the adjacent structure that is the headquarters of the Salvation Army would have been gutted as well. All that is left of the UC property is charred rubble, and the folks over at Salvation Army cleaning up. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Some say that the house predated 1880 and has been the home of the UC family for decades. The UCs were public servants. The iconic building located at the corner of South and Regent Streets was the only structure in Belize that had shingled walls as part of its architecture. Area Representative Tracy Panton says that part of our historical reference and cultural identity has been lost.
It was the oldest standing building in Belize City. It was, of course, in the neighborhood I grew up in. I spent all my life practically. I have a lot of fun memories at that building. We knew the UC family very well. In 2012, 2013, we had access a grant facility from the International Cooperation Development Fund of Taiwan, Republic of China, Taiwan, to look at a mechanism, to put in place a framework to preserve our older buildings. And in fact, that building was chosen as the signature project of that loan grant. However, at the time, the family made a determination that they did not want to participate in the project. And so we were not able to restore it to its original state. The idea was that part of the building would have been used as a museum that visitors could visit, and then the upper part of the house would have been fully renovated for the family to still to live there, and a portion of the proceeds would have gone to the family, but the family at that time opted not to. And then I heard that the property had been sold, and it was my understanding that the Belize City Council was going to be dismantling the structure. I had seen recently, just before I left the country, some attempts at dismantling the roof of the building. The zincs were removed. The framing for the building was for the roof was removed, etc. But of course, this unfortunate incident occurred.
While there was quick response by the National Fire Service, the fire spread to the adjacent building, the headquarters of the Salvation Army. Major Jonathan Kelman says that he initially felt that it was a prank call.
I thought it was a prank call, because sometimes this staff member, he called me by mistake. So I get the call at 1:30 in the morning. I left here at 12:30. So for some reason, I came up here, I was looking for something. I spent some time. I left at 12:30. Then I get the call at 1:30, and I was hitting the bed. And I text back, I said, I hope you're calling me by mistake. And then 15 minutes later, another person called, because two people lived there. And they said the building is on fire. And so I rushed up here, in about 5 minutes I was here. It was not something that we looking forward to. Especially, it lost. And it kind of put people on Albert Street and Regent Street in some distress for the rest of the night because they didn't have power. First of all, I want to thank God because there was no loss of life on that property or on ours, because we have people living here, pastors living here. Because the building kind of porous, the building caught on fire. So on that side, so the firefighters had to break in upstairs and try to contain the fire. And therefore we had water damage downstairs in the office areas on this side, files, and so we're trying to clean up now and deal with that. Upstairs we can really, just for one of our pastors, we can't use up there now because the breaker panels, the wires, everything up there kind of affected. The bathroom was gutted because the fire was on that side. So roofing, everything there had to be replaced. We only have electricity in this part of the compound, but we are still here. We want to be open today to serve the public. We don't have utilities or anything like that, but we are open.
Kelman says that the saddest part of the incident is that in the wake of the fire, someone looted the apartment and stole a bag containing personal documents, including the passport of Major Elaine Weatherburn, the Finance Secretary of the Salvation Army. Police believe that the fire was deliberately set.
Information is that a male person was seen entering the building, and thereafter a fire was seen coming from the building. We are seeking one suspect in regard to this report. The building is an abandoned building that is on Regent Street.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
A fire has destroyed all the contents of a house in the Vista Del Mar area. The fire was reported on Sunday at a residence occupied by William Neal, the communications director at Belize Sugar Industries Limited. Neal, who is also a well-known media personality, had reportedly left his house, and a neighbor called to notify him that the building was on fire. ACP Ilberto Romero says that the cause of the blaze is under investigation.
On Sunday, the 18th of June 2023, police responded to a fire at Vista Del Mar. Upon their arrival, building was seen engulfed in flames. Thereafter, police received a report from William Neal, who reported that a neighbor called him, informing that his house was on fire. He then went to his residence, where he saw the building engulfed in flames. All the contents in the building were destroyed. We are awaiting the fire department report to determine if they can see what was the cause of that fire. Mr. Neal reported he left his house and he was called by the neighbor. That is all the information there is.
A $69 million supplementary appropriation bill was brought from the House of Representatives and debated today inside the Senate. Eamon Courtney, the Senator for Government Business, sought to explain why the Briceño administration found it necessary to request that further sums be allocated only 3 months after the 2023 budget was introduced. UDP Senator Michael Perfit criticized this move by the government.
Obvious question that arises is why now, in June, a supplementary appropriation bill. The first reason, Madam President, for which no one can take any pride is that it came to the attention of the government, specifically the Ministry of Finance, that a number of projects that were ongoing and which should have been included in this year's budget did not reach the budget book. It arose, according to the Financial Secretary in his brief to the Cabinet, that when payments came due, the Ministry of Finance realized that a number of ministries had failed to submit ongoing budget requests for projects that were ongoing.
You can't just come to the Senate, Madam President, and say, well, my fault. You see, the ministries that have a management team, Minister, FO, AO, CEO, they just didn't submit things when they were supposed to submit things. And where are we about that? But it's a lack of management. It's a lack of planning. Then you need to fire your CEOs. If they, you see, Senator Montero, when you come to me or come to this Senate, Ministry of National Defense and Border Security, and you budget for the whole year $222,000, $222,988 for operating costs, which ominous by itself. My bad. There were some expenses we didn't know we made or we didn't turn in. So now you come for that line item and ask in a supplemental for $304,844.
Senator Kevin Herrera and Union Senator Elena Smith also weighed in on the matter. Senator Herrera contended that during the budget debate, he flagged the sum of money that was being allocated to the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security as inadequate. Senator Smith argued that while public officers and teachers sacrifice for the benefit of the country, the nation's economy is once again weakening.
In my presentation at the budget in April, I had pointed out in the Ministry of Defense and Border Security that the numbers had seemed very off. And I had said that because in that budget you had personnel projected at 1,838. There were no increase in this coming year, and the budget, the actual amounts expended on salaries and wages in that year or last year was $56 million, and this year it's $43 million, even though the number of personnel remain the same. And there were other areas as well. I think supplies were about $9 million less than what it was this year. And again, you had all those personnel. So I'm not surprised that we came back this quickly for Ministry of National Defense and Border Security for $788,000.
We are concerned as the National Treasury Congress of Belize in terms of the bringing of this supplementary appropriation here before us so quickly after the budget exercise. And while we understand that there are areas within this document that are indeed important and that are necessary, we believe it's concerning because we are just, as I said, we're just in June. What will happen another month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now? And we will end up by the end of the fiscal year where we will end up. And we keep saying from our end that while we as public officers and teachers sacrifice for the benefit of this entire country to get us out of a hole, we are slowly inching our way back into that hole.
When we return, Department of Youth Services launches Entrepreneurship Hub, a marketplace for services by youth entrepreneurs.
Minister Francis Fonseca. At the House meeting on Friday, you told the nation of Belize that because the definitive agreement was a potential legal liability, it had to be brought to Cabinet for discussion and review. Minister Fonseca, you know that is a lie. The Cabinet memorandum did not have a single word about any potential legal liability if the Cabinet did not approve it. Not a single word about any legal opinion. Minister Fonseca, you know that the purpose of the Cabinet memorandum presented by Minister Chris Coy on behalf of the Prime Minister John Briceño was to inform the Cabinet of Portico's progress and to seek Cabinet's approval for the dirty fiscal incentives. Instead of explaining to Cabinet that the dirty tax giveaways represented a gang rape of Belize's taxpayers by Geg and Royal Caribbean, the paper sang Portico's praises. Minister Fonseca, why did you stand up in Parliament and lie to us about the true purpose of bringing the definitive agreement to Cabinet? Lies. Damn lies.
The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, proudly celebrates its 120th anniversary of service and achievement in the Americas. PAHO began operating in Belize in the early 1950s. PAHO committed to providing technical cooperation to strengthen the capacity of Belize's health sector and improve the health of the people of Belize. The Malaria Eradication Program, which began in 1974, is one of the great success stories of Paho's collaboration with the government of Belize. Since December 2018, Belize has reported 0 cases of malaria, placing the country well on track toward malaria elimination. For other vector-borne diseases like dengue, chikungunya, and Zika, Paho led public health responses in Belize, which included surveillance, prevention and control, and the mobilization of resources. The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 presented the greatest global public health challenge in recent history. In Belize, Paho supported the Ministry of Health and Wellness by training lab personnel to diagnose SARS-CoV-2, evaluating isolation and long-term facilities, providing technical guidance for decentralized testing, and supporting procurement of COVID-19 test kits, medical and laboratory equipment and supplies, PPE, and IT communication equipment and materials. Paho facilitated the acquisition of COVID-19 vaccines through COVAX and supported the COVID-19 vaccination rollout, contributing to 64.62% of the target population being fully vaccinated by December 30th, 2021. Paho has built national capacity through specialized training to address non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, cancer and diabetes, which have been leading causes of death in Belize. With Paho's support, all public hospitals have been certified as baby-friendly hospitals, as have 3 public polyclinics. The Smart Hospitals Initiatives was launched in Belize in 2016 and to date has retrofitted 5 health facilities countrywide. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Paho is providing safer, greener, climate-resistant health facilities to deliver care in disasters, generate operational savings, and reduce disaster losses. The launch of the National One Health platform in October 2022 will foster a coordinated, multi-sectorial collaboration to address the full spectrum of disease control, from prevention to detection, preparedness, response, and management. Paho Belize will continue its decades-long commitment to the government and people of Belize in achieving the highest standard of health and well-being for all persons through universal access to health care, universal health coverage, resilient health systems, and quality health services throughout the life course.
For Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Minister Anthony Mahler, what are you really up to? You condemned the definitive agreement as scandalous and not in Belize's best interest. Yet, you allowed yourself to be named as one of the ministers to renegotiate an agreement the whole world knows to be unlawful, unlawfully signed, and not binding. Why, Minister Mahler? Any such renegotiation would be on behalf of Mr. Gig and Mr. Sharma, who, as the whole world knows, have no ability to deliver such a project. Why, Minister Mahler? On your return to Belize, you scuttled away from the media to avoid any questions. Why, Minister Mahler? When you wanted our votes, you said you were a change agent. You have changed. And you've become just like those old PUPs. Why, Minister Mahler? A cruise ship port constructed near Gales Point would negatively impact the endangered manatee population and bring no benefit at all to the people of the South Side. Why, Minister Mahler? Why are you being a sellout to the voters of Southside Belize City?
Ay, Flip, creo que el 22 va a jugar hoy. ¿Qué piensas? Güey, ¿tú crees? Toma, 24. ¿Qué piensas tú?
En Belize tenemos el rice and beans, el chips and dips, el bolillo de la lotería dominical. Es difícil explicar, pero esas cosas forman parte de nuestra identidad como beliceños. Mientras muchos de nosotros disfrutábamos del bolillo de vez en cuando, una compañía tenía 100% de derecho a la propiedad. Ahora, no hay nada de malo ser propietario de un negocio. Pero cuando se trata de nuestro bolillo, no puedes informar sobre ventas o ganancias basando tus sentimientos. No puedes adulterar las máquinas cuando te da la gana. No puedes esconder los registros bajo el colchón. No, man. Ahora que el bolillo de la lotería de domingo volverán a ser nuestro, podremos disfrutar y obtener todos sus beneficios. Eso es doble ganancia.
It was a great show in the House on Friday, and from a political perspective, I guess from a symbolism perspective, it's good. But the problem is, the definitive agreement should have been torn up on November 11th, or whenever they found it, because it's one of the documents that lurk underneath, and I'm sure the Prime Minister wishes he did. The fact is that even if you tear up the definitive agreement, you cannot tear up the environmental compliance plan that your government approved. And that environmental compliance plan is a problem. You cannot tear up, thank God we have it, the Cabinet Confidential Memorandum. This is the importance of transparency, right? I know I talk about it a lot, but the leakage of this Cabinet Confidential Memorandum is so important, and it underscores so much. And if we didn't have it, many lies that are now being passed as truth would have slipped by.
Today, the Department of Youth Services launched an entrepreneurship hub as a space for young business owners to operate their business. From cosmetology to food and beverage industry and even printing services, they can all be found in one place. It's the answer to a youth needs assessment survey that is finally coming to fruition. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The old terminal building on Magazine Road in Belize City has been retrofitted to become an entrepreneurship hub, a marketplace for businesses managed and run by youth entrepreneurs. It is something that DYS Director Kevin Cadle says gives purpose to the establishment.
About 2 years ago, we did a youth needs assessment survey. And from that survey, we recognized the need for young people to literally be able to be gainfully employed. And most young persons are saying that, again, they want to become entrepreneurs and they want to own their own businesses. This facilities has been here for quite some time. I know that it had a program whereby they were doing skills training, but it was a minimal amount of young people coming out of these facilities with the type of skills necessary for entrepreneurship. And so we decided to embark on something quite creative. And what we did was we enlisted 13 young persons who already started their business from within their own homes, but would want to be able to expand on their businesses. We have food business, we have the cosmetology, we have nails, we have printing. There's a person doing printing, a person doing tutorial services. There are tutors and so forth. We have the radio program here. We have the advertisement that they do advertisements and so forth for businesses. We have a podcast that young people could literally come in and do their own podcasts and so forth. So it's various different things that we actually have. And the food business, there are two different types. There's one that's just doing cake decorating and so forth, and then the other one is actually doing catering, food catering.
After an interview process, several young entrepreneurs now have a space, at least for 1 year, to house their services. At a rental cost of $50 a month, they each have their individual spot for their business to prosper.
Within that 1 year, it's to get them to build their customer base, get their businesses up and running properly, and then we will assist them in finding a location for themselves where they could actually go on and move on with their own businesses and graduate into their own businesses while we bring in a fresh set of young people to do the same thing. What we also want to look at is the agricultural sector for young people in agriculture, and we want to use the space at the back to be able to provide on Saturdays where young people could bring their produce here and be able to sell their produce during that period of time, similar to what is happening at the market. So we're just opening up a situation for young people, which is for young people and by young people in entrepreneurship and business venture.
As we do the tour, it is impressive, and I feel very elated to be a part of this, because we have now found a hub to be able to provide to the public. At the same time, the small businesses are going to make money, and it's very minimal cost. Imagine you have to go and rent a space downtown, it will cost you so much. And just the ambience make you feel like you want to be a part of it.
The idea is for a similar marketplace in all municipalities.
It already started around the municipalities. Belize is our main hub, but if you go to Independence, if you go to Big Ford, you will see a hub there, likewise, and Orange Rock, and wherever you go in the country. So eventually we're going to reach out to the entire country of Belize to provide for young people.
While we launched it here, we're hoping to do it across the country. Recently in Dangriga, we just went to a new hub that they're actually opening up in Dangriga for some of our young men that we're working with. They have been in training, and so they have started up a car wash business. We were there on Friday to deliver the equipment for them, and so that they could start it. But there are going to be other niches within that particular building that they have. It's a building that they acquired from the area representative, Honorable Zabane, and so with that, we're just going to continue to build on their capacity and train them so that more young people could actually own their own business and have the opportunity to grow.
We move for News 5.
There is a new director for the National Sports Council, and she is no stranger to sports. Iris Centino, Women's Director at the Football Federation of Belize, took up the appointment last week after former Director Ian Cal resigned from the post. As we reported, Cal's contract expired at the end of March, but continued as head of the council until a successor was appointed. Today, Sports Minister Rodwell Ferguson said that great things are expected from Centino.
Ian Cal resigned, I think, last week, Thursday, and we had to figure out how we can look for a new director of sports because we want to elevate sports in this country. And I, as the minister responsible, it was my sole prerogative to find a new director. And I was able to look around, and I spotted the director for female at the Football Federation of Belize, Ms. Iris Centeno. So she has now just been appointed the new director of sports, and I believe she's very passionate about sports, and we can see some elevation in sports, I guess, within another couple of months.
When does she take over office?
It's to take over office on the 15th, so she's already in office.
As we reported last week, Transport Officer Andrea Peters was charged with extortion following an investigation by Independence Police on an allegation made by a woman who claims that she was being extorted by 3 transport officers. The 3 officers who had set up a routine checkpoint on the highway were taken into custody, and after investigation, police say that Peters allegedly extorted money from Diaris Tepaz, who was driving an uninsured vehicle. Reports are that the bills were marked, and that's how Peters was caught. So today we asked Transport Minister Rodwell Ferguson about Peters' future with the department.
Once something is before a court of law, then I would refrain, because then the person is innocent until proven guilty. But yes, there has been an extortion charge in the south of the country, and I'll be very factual and be very frank with you. It's happening maybe across the public service from top to bottom. But at the end of the day, I always tell my employees, you have a responsibility, you have a job, you are getting a pay, it might not be the pay that you want, but at least every month something is coming in. And if you get caught up in any other extra activities when it comes to extortion, then at the end of the day, you lose your job, you lose everything. But I say, the young lady is innocent until proven guilty. Nobody has been caught with any cash. So until you can prove that the money was marked and you have the evidence that here is where the person has the cash, that is fine. But to my knowledge, they cannot find the $50 that they set up the sting operations for. So that's another issue that the court will have to prove.
But is this concerning for you, just the fact that, one of your officers, and I believe she is from your division as well, and recently hired, that she would go and do something like this? It's like almost like a slap in the face.
I say I will not comment further to that extent, because I say you are innocent until you are proven guilty. In every department, especially the police and traffic, these things do occur. But let the court prove it and say, okay, the woman is guilty, then they deal with them at a particular level.
There have been multiple reports of shortage of license plates and stickers, but we have not been able to confirm until today that for a few months a shortfall was experienced and the ministry has moved to resolve the issue. But in the process, did the finance officer within the Department of Transport pay out $108,000 for the procurement of license plates and stickers to a supplier? Minister of Transport Rodwell Ferguson confirmed to News 5 that the payout was flagged by CEO Adel Katsim Sanchez, who wrote to the Chief Transport Officer because due process was not followed. According to Minister Ferguson, because the amount was above $50,000, the procurement should have been put to tender. It is a matter that is being dealt with by the Ministries of Public Service and Finance.
She did write the Chief Transport Officer about an issue where $108,000 was paid to one individual for the procurement of license plate and stickers. To be very frank, I have no connection to that individual. The CEO was a cab sick, and then we decide which supplier that he's going to deal with. And when the CEO came in as a very experienced CEO, because she was there before, she said the protocol is that once it's on over 50,000, then it must go to tender and then goes to the Contractor General for approval. Apparently, there was some mishap and the $108,000 was paid out directly to one supplier. But I want to say, and categorically say, the CTO is not working for the last 2 weeks. So she was totally innocent of that.
In that case, she wasn't around for the last 2 weeks. How was this possible?
Well, I say that might have been possible because each ministry has an FO. Each department have an FO. So apparently the FO went ahead and make the payment without the knowledge of the CEO.
And does this FO then come under any kind of penalty or anything for this decision?
Well, then that where the Ministry of Public Service steps in, and likewise the Ministry of Finance. But it was an urgent need to make sure we procure license plate to the public.
While with Minister of Transport Rodwell Ferguson, he also gave brief comments on a planned protest by Serrano's bus service in Ladyville. The bus line is saying that they've made significant investments to become compliant with transport regulations, but nevertheless lost their road service permit. Minister Ferguson says that a decision was taken by the Transport Board not to renew Serrano's permit when it expired earlier this year.
When you are given your road service permit, it comes with certain criteria that you must be able to reach based on the department's perspective. If I am correctly saying that the Transport Board is independent of me, while we appoint them, they act on their own behalf. And over the last 1 year, I believe that every so often there is a report coming against Serrano. And so the board come to the conclusion that it is time now for us to say to Serrano, we got to part ways since your contract expires, I think sometime in April or March, I can't recall. And fortunately, the Transport Board have a member of the bus operators on the board, Mr. Shah, who also voted unanimously against with the other members to say it is time for Serrano to go. While he having his investment, you are providing a service for the community. And so the board decided, you know what, we are not going to renew your contract. Mr. Shah came back to me afterwards and said, as a minister, can you overturn their decision? I said, I will respect the decision of the Transport Board, and we'll see where I go from there.
Up next, a review of the weekend's sports activities.
I went to BL's Facebook and Instagram page and as well their website.
I found on their website information on how they determine electricity rates and how they calculate that. The BL High School Energy Challenge helped me to further my knowledge in these topics.
Shows me their interest in science, but beyond that, it's thinking outside of the box. You know, they're thinking about energy not just in their homes, but for us as a country, as a nation.
I learned a lot about renewable energy and where Belize gets its energy from.
I'm really glad that I got a laptop from Belize because I'm taking CIS in 6th form, so I truly need it.
We are very happy that this is the second year we are getting a cash prize from BL because of our students' excellent performance.
I would like to say that BL should continue with giving these competitions because these prizes are needed by many people.
I applaud BL's effort because to see a company give back to the community, especially through young people, that is something that definitely needs to be applauded, and I look forward to even more of these competitions and to see our kids continue to excel in them.
My name is Wilmer De La Rosa from Santa Elena Town. I am currently a student at Cayo, set for employment training. Enrolled in the electrical installation program. In late July 2021, I got a confirmation that I was a successful applicant and would be granted a scholarship from Social Security Board. It was one of the proudest moments for me. I felt very excited to start this new path in my life. So far on my journey as a Social Security Board scholar, my vocational technical scholarship has assisted me in achieving my life goals in so many ways. For one, it has renewed sense of purpose, another chance at professional development, and a start at a new career. This opportunity has paved the way for me to excel in life as an individual and as a member of society. Great things are coming after I graduate from SET. I can promise you that. Applying for a vocational technical scholarship through the Social Security Board is simple and easy. I would advise young people in need to apply. It is possible to create a fulfilling and fruitful life with a Social Security scholarship. Believe in yourself and your abilities and skills. I always say the key is to always keep an open mind and let your determination be your motivation.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. That is a quote from legendary boxer Muhammad Ali. First for tonight, we take a look at the Belize City Softball Association's Fast Pitch Softball Tournament. 2 games were played on Friday night inside the Rogers Stadium. The first was a women's match between Team Beacon and Wolfpack. We are on the top of the first inning of the match. Beacon is fielding and Wolfpack is up to bat. In that inning, Beacon struck out 3 of 4 batters. Only 1 batter made it to second base but never made it home. At the bottom of the first, Beacon is up to bat. They also finished that round without making any runs. At the bottom of the second, Beacon's batter hits the ball directly to the third base fielder, who stops it and throws to first base. First base misses the ball. A second error puts the batter on third base. Ball is pitched. The catcher missed the ball, and the runner on third base makes good of that opportunity for the first run of the match. We are now in the bottom of the third inning with 2 down and 1 to go, and the game at 1-0 in favor of Beacon. Number 22, Rebecca Nicholson, connected a massive hit down the left and makes it safe to second base. Charlene Humphreys also with a hit down the left field, sending Nicholson home for a second run. Jasani Westby connected and sent the ball down the right field, sending Humphreys home for a third run. Another hit, and the second base fielder was unable to hold that one. Number 12, Brenda Gabriel with the crafty bunt that sent her to first base. Bases are loaded. Kayla Henry sent that one flying across the left field, and that is 1, 2, 3 more runs added to the scoreboard for Beacon. Henry would make it home to put Beacon up by 7 points at the end of that inning. That match ended 10 points to 1 in favor of Beacon. The second match of the night was between two male teams, Guardian and Wolfpack. Team Guardian featured retired basketball player Stephen Muerte Williams, who is now focusing his energies on softball. Wolfpack is up for the first bat with a runner on third. Number 10 sent the ball to first base. The fielder fumbled the ball. That one is 1 run for Wolfpack. Again, runner on third. The pitcher sent the ball flying over the catcher's head, and Wolfpack makes good on that for a second run. At the bottom of the first, Wolfpack's pitcher struck out 3 batters back to back to back, sending them to the dugout and wrapping up the inning. We are now at the top of the second inning. The ball is pitched and the catcher attempted to stop the steal on second. That play cost the Guardian another run. Here is a beautiful play from the Guardians that secures them 2 outs in 1 sweep. At the bottom of the second, Stephen Williams on third base goes in for his team's first run after a bad pitch. This is the top of the 4th inning. A runner is on third base. The ball is hit into the midfield, sending in yet another run for Wolfpack as they lead this match. And this Wolfpack run was made because of miscommunication. Guardians thought the inning was over when they were actually playing for 1 more out. The game is now 5 runs to 1 in favor of Wolfpack at the top of the 5th inning. With a runner in second for Wolfpack, the ball is hit across the left field, resulting in a 6th run for Team Wolfpack. At the bottom of the 6th inning, as you have seen, Guardians have been trailing the entire game. Here they were able to bring in a much-needed run and place a runner on third base. With a bad pitch, that third base runner makes it home safe for another run. We are now in the 7th and final inning. Wolfpack has a runner on third. The ball makes it into the left field from that hit, securing a 7th run for Wolfpack. Down by 4 runs, it is now do or die for Team Guardian. They must make at least 4 runs to send the game into extra innings. Fatigue seems to be setting in on Wolfpack's pitcher as he sends 2 players walking to the first base. Runners on second and third. The ball is hit and it lands in near second base. A 4th runner makes it home for the Guardian. Wolfpack decided that it was time to change their pitcher at this late point in the game. Bases are loaded. That's the 4th foul ball, and the third base runner gets a free ride home. The match now stands at 7 to 5 runs with bases still loaded. That's a 4th foul ball from the pitcher to the batter, securing yet another free ride home for the Guardian. Williams sent the ball flying across the field. That one was caught, but the hit resulted in a 7th run to tie the match at 7 apiece. The catcher lost sight of the pitch and the runner makes it home safe for Guardians' 8th and final run. And there goes Spider-Man. That match ended 8 to 7 runs in favor of Team Guardian. Don't call that one a comeback, folks. Moving on now to some basketball action. The William Dawson Sprite Digi Youth Basketball Tournament 2023 continued over the weekend on the Yarborough Greens in Belize City. One of the highlight matchups of the day was between Team Police and Port Loyola Titans. The starting whistle is blown, Team Police in possession of the ball, and that is the first turnover of the match. On the other end, Titan goes in for the drive. The referee calls a foul. The first free throw is good, as well as the second. Team Police in possession, a pass on the outside, the hesitation and pass below the rim. Number 1 fails to get it out, and that results in another turnover and a basket on the fast break. Here is number 10 for Team Police on the fast break. He misses the layup. The first and second attempts at putback failed. Titans secured possession, but their player tripped. Police once again regained the ball, made the layup, and drew the foul. Number 7 for Team Police with the ball inside the arc. Dribbled through 2 defenders and banked that layup. In the second quarter, here's a strong move from number 5 for the Titans as he cleaned up a missed layup from his teammate. Number 7 drives in the ball, missed, but his teammate is right there to finish the play. Police lost their composure here, which resulted in a quick throw-in for their opponents and a dunk on the other end of the court. Team Police with the ball. Number 12 goes in strong for a power move to bank that layup. At halftime, Team Police led the game with 18 points. The Titans 15 points. By the end of the third quarter, Titans had the lead with 29 points to Team Police's 22 points. That means Titans outscored Police 14-4 baskets in the third. In the fourth and final quarter, Team Police came out to set the pace from the start. Number 12 with the drive and the acrobatic layup. A turnover is forced on display. Number 10 for Police puts up a Hail Mary, and that one is good. On display, number 10 missed the layup. His teammate rebounds, goes up, and misses also. Number 10 gets the rebound, shoots, and falls short. Number 12 with the rebound, lays it up, and draws the foul. That match ended 36-33 points in favor of Team Police. Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Until next time, have a good one.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.